So good evening, everyone. My name is Cecilia Boyers. I'm the policy associate from President Green's office. I'm taking over for Anna, who was the intern that guided the first meeting. Thank you all so much for being here for the second City Youth Council meeting. I'm really excited to be here. We're going to go ahead and get started, I think, with just some introductions. So as I said, I'm Cecilia Boyers. I'm the person that will email you 30 times in between the meetings.
Hi, I'm Alderwoman Pam Boyd of the 13th Ward.
Good evening, I'm Keisha Lee. I'm the CEO of Annie Malone Children and Family Services.
Hello, and I'm Lakeisha Robinson. We'll keep that trend going. I currently serve as the Senior Advisor on Children, Youth, and Families for the mayor here in St. Louis City.
Perfect. Thank you all so much for being here. Okay, so we're going to start off the meeting with a quick roll call. So when I say your name, just go ahead and say here or present, and I will mark you down. All right, let me not drop everything. Okay, Takira Baker. Okay, Silas Bloch. Ismail Bachwe. Zoya Catchings. Lillian Davis. Lavender Dean. Izzy Flesner. Meg Grindle. Ashlyn Hagans. Asher Herholtz. Michaela Hunsberger. Duran Johnson. Jaleel Latchison. Viviette Linden. Amaya Honesty Lovings. Here. Isabella Mashburn. Zach Mays. Nevaeh Powell. David Stevick. Angel Washington. Niall Winfield. And Trent Young. Awesome. Wonderful. Okay, so we wanted to start off the meeting with a short icebreaker. I know, bear with me. So if you could each take turns with the mic, I'll bring the mic to you, and go ahead and give us your name and one class that you're looking forward to in the fall semester when school starts. Sorry, up front.
My name's David Stevick, and I'm really excited to start debate next year, school year.
I'm Silas, and I'll be taking anatomy and physiology next year, which I am excited about.
I'm Zoya, and one class that I look forward to taking to is AP Psych.
I'm Michaela, and one class I'm looking forward to is film.
I'm Angel, and one class I'm looking forward to is AP Literature.
I'm Niall, and one class I'm looking forward to is current issues. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Amaya, and one class I'm looking forward to is debate.
My name is Ashley, and one class I'm looking forward to is AP Psychology.
I'm Nevaeh, and one class I'm looking forward to is Calculus.
I'm Asher, and one class I'm looking forward to is Honors Art.
Hi, I'm Meg, and one class I'm looking forward to is 60s and Beyond.
Hi, I'm Trent, and one class I'm looking forward to is Child Development.
Hi, I'm Lillian. One class I'm looking forward to is Photography.
Hi, I'm Bella, and one class I'm looking forward to is Botany/Zoology.
Hi, I'm Izzy. One class I'm looking forward to is AP Government.
Hi, I'm Lavender, and one class I'm looking forward to is Honors English.
Awesome. Some of those sound really hard. I'm just getting an agenda to have up front. Okay. Thank you all. Oh, yeah, I want to hear yours. Let's hear it. Oh, yes.
I'm Keisha Lee, and one class I'm looking forward to is lunch.
Me too.
Oh, wait, come on.
You got yours?
Okay.
What's yours?
I'm Lakeisha Robinson. I'm looking forward to recess.
I don't even know if we still get those. Home time.
Home time. Home. I like that too. There we go. All right, one more. Sorry.
Hello, my name is Jalil, and I'm looking forward to weight training.
Very nice. Okay, thank you all for participating in that. I know icebreakers are not the most fun. Okay, so I would like to now hand it over to Alderwoman Boyd to lead us in the swearing-in ceremony for the council members who were not here at our first meeting. So if you were not able to make it to our first meeting last month, could you please come on up here, and you're going to do your swearing-in ceremony as a group, and then you'll sign the oath declaring that you've performed the ceremony. And it's right here.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, you all ready? Is this it that did not come last month? Let me see if these people are here. Are you all students that's coming in? Compliment, compliment. Okay. All right. You want to raise your right hand? Okay. And call your name after I say I.
I, Silas Bloch.
I, David Stevick.
Do solemnly swear that I shall perform the duties required of me as a member of the City Youth Council fairly and honestly, and I shall engage with the legislative process to do the best of my skill and ability. I shall work diligently to improve the life for all young people in the city of St. Louis and use my unique talents for the betterment of the city.
Do solemnly swear that I shall perform the duties required of me as a member of the City Youth Council fairly and honestly, and I shall engage with the legislative process to the best of my skill and ability. I shall work diligently to improve life for all young people in the city of St. Louis and use my unique talents for the betterment of the city.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alderwoman. Round of applause. Thank you very much. All right, thank you all very much, and thank you, Alderwoman Boyd. Okay, so now we're going to approve the minutes from the last meeting. Once the president is elected today, that person will be the one approving the minutes from the prior meeting. But today, I'll just do it for the last time. So in the email I sent out, you should have all received a copy of the meeting minutes from last time. So are there any corrections from the meeting minutes? Okay, if there are no corrections, the minutes are approved as distributed. Okay, so now is the time that we will elect for our leadership positions for president, vice president, and secretary. I'm going to read the descriptions for those positions below one more time, just so you know what you're running for and what you're voting for. So the president will be responsible for taking roll call, like I did at the beginning, approving the meeting minutes, like I just did, working with the president of the Board of Aldermen and the adult sponsors to set the meeting agenda. They may appoint members to committees. They might designate representatives from the Youth Council to attend community meetings and provide the council with regular briefings about what's going on within and without the Youth Council. The vice president will take on the role of the president when they're unavailable, and they might be given some additional roles from the president or the adult members if that arises. And lastly, the secretary is responsible for taking the minutes from each meeting, which is really just taking notes about what we talk about in the meetings and what goes on. And they'll also be responsible for reaching out to members who were not present and sending out updates for things that those people missed. Okay, so I know some of you filled out the survey online, but today anyone can run for any of these positions. You can run for more than one position, even if you did not fill out the survey. Okay, so if you would like to run for any of the positions, you'll just raise your hand. I'll bring you the mic, and you'll have a timed 2 minutes to give your pitch for why your fellow council members should vote for you. So when you get the mic, please make sure you state your name and the position or positions you would like to run for, and why your fellow council members should vote for you. Okay? And you'll see on your leadership ballots, there's some space for you to take notes during the pitches if you want to take notes on what people are saying. And then each consecutive page, there's a page for president, page for vice president, page for secretary. Right now it lists everyone's name, but just vote for the people who are running. Okay? Anybody have any questions for me? Yeah? Oh, yes. Let me grab you this, and I'll get myself another one. 1 sec. Okay, so who wants to go first? Anybody? All right. Trent. Oh, yeah, perfect.
Do you want me to stand up?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Hi, I'm Trent Young, and I think I'd be a great fit for the role of secretary because first off, I'm super organized and I love keeping things running smoothly. Plus, I'm a great communicator and love working with people. I'll make sure everyone's voices are heard and that we're all on the same page, whether it's taking detailed meeting minutes or informing absent people on what went on. With me as secretary, I promise to bring a positive and organized energy to the team. Who's next?
Hi, I'm Silas. I'm a junior at Collegiate, and I'm interested in running for both president and vice president. And there are a couple positions and experiences that I've had in the past couple of years that I think make me qualified for both of those positions. Over the past 2 years, I've been involved in my school's student council, and this past year I was a student council officer, working with fellow members of the student council administration and bringing in members of our community to organize events that involve hundreds of people. This past year, I had the opportunity, for the past 2 years, I've been involved with my school's speech and debate team, and this year, I'll be one of our student captains, and that really involves communicating and discussing and speaking about and debating about some of the most important issues that impact all of us, whether it's climate change or gun violence or healthcare or international relations, and really finding solutions to those problems. And then finally, I've worked with several other students with the Office of Congresswoman Cori Bush in researching and proposing and drafting federal legislation to address both gun violence and community mental health. And so I'd be really interested in bringing that experience as well as recognizing some core values that I find really important, both respect for each other's ideas and experiences, as well as valuing communication between each other's and with the people that we're supposed to represent to ensure that we can be as successful as possible and really do some great work for the people that we're here to represent. Oh, sorry.
Hello, my name is David Stevick. I'm interested in running for the positions of Vice President and Secretary. Some things I believe make me qualify for these positions are I take part in an organization called Cultural Leadership, which specifically focuses on giving voice to marginalized communities. I believe that every person deserves a voice, and everyone has a unique perspective on certain issues in the city, such as safety. I think a strong focus of this council should be education, because the thing that makes change is the general public, not just a small group of a council like us. I have a leadership position in cultural leadership, and I've been, in this council, I'm the special liaison to the president, which means that I'll already be working closely with the president of the board, Megan Green. And I believe that being vice president or secretary will help me do that better. Thank you.
I gotta stand over here or something. My bad. It's already on, right?
Yes.
Probably give me a second, my bad. Whew. Okay. Okay. So how y'all doing? My name is Naya Winfield, and I'm going to run for all three positions for for president, vice president, and secretary. For starters, I consider myself a natural leader and a leader every day in the community because I hold myself to a certain standard and I do certain things that I want people like the younger generation or the people always watching me to take example of and be like, hey, I want to do stuff like that. Also, things I feel like qualify me for this position are I'm a member of the student council at my school, student body vice president, going to probably be student council president. I'm the Black Student Union president. Me and this girl I go to school with founded a student activist club, and we even had a walkout protest. Uh, I recently just took courses at Mizzou for like leadership programs and like constitutional democracy. So I'm trying to learn more about how things happen so what we can change. And I plan on starting a non-for-profit organization when I turn 18 called The Difference, so I can really get out there and make some change. So just, yeah, if y'all vote for me, just know we gonna change something. Something gonna happen. Something gonna change. Who wanna go next?
Hi, my name is Isabella Mashburn, and I'm going to sophomore year at Collegiate School of Medicine and Bioscience. I can bring a lot of things to this position. I am a member of the speech and debate team at my school. I've been doing local work with a community group called Students Demand Action, where we go and hold meetings for the local youth to come and advocate for gun violence prevention. And I really want to work with all of you, and I'm really excited to work with all of you, and yeah. Oh, sorry, Vice President.
Hello, everybody. I'm Izzy Flesner. I'm a freshman at Metro, and I'm excited for this opportunity to run for Vice President. I think I will be a good fit for this role because of my leadership experiences and my passion for helping the city of St. Louis create a safer and overall more connected community. During my 7th and 8th grade years, I served as president of National Junior Honor Society for my middle school, McKinley Classical Junior Leadership Academy. This role was very hands-on as I had to communicate with the student body, teachers, and administration to induct new members, run many charity drives, bring the student body together, and even give a speech at graduation. I was also captain of the basketball team, and we won the SLPS district tournament. In that role, I had to bring everyone together to make sure we had a positive environment where everybody positively contributed to the team. As vice president of the council, I would put all these skills to work and make sure I'm a person everybody on the council can come to with questions, concerns, or ideas. I will see to it that all of these are brought to the attention of the group and of the president. Everybody deserves to be seen and heard, especially in this space. As vice president, I would address and act on the need that St. Louis youth have for safety and security. This issue affects kids because a lot of youth in St. Louis don't have safe places to express themselves in productive and secure ways. Schools are supposed to be this place, but with school shootings on the news and in our own neighborhoods and schools, it's becoming a more unreliable and unstable place for kids to just be able to be themselves. I think the main goals of the council should be to address these issues and create real, visible change in our communities. We should use our diverse, interesting, and unique skills to create legislation and programs that create safer environments for St. Louis youth, both in and out of school, give kids room to try new things and make mistakes without judgment, and create more opportunities for everybody. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Izzy Flesner, Vice President.
So first of all, I would like to apologize for my tardiness. I think it is a good representation of my ability to quickly find solutions to any unexpected problems that I face. So I ended up walking 20 minutes to see you guys here. But yeah, anyway, so my name is Viviette Linden. I'm running for president and vice president. So we are all here for a reason. Within each one of you is a passion, a relentless drive to transform our city that yearns for change, because you know that change is not only possible, but necessary. You deserve a leader who will champion your cause and kindle this fire, bringing the gap between aspiration and implementation. You deserve someone who will listen, someone who inspires a culture of diverse perspectives to ensure that everyone feels heard, and each voice is not only valued, but encouraged. As president, I will commit to being that leader, serving as a conduit for your visions and a steadfast representative of this council and our entire youth community. With an extensive background in student government and politics, my qualifications expand beyond this position. And I'm confident that I can effectively leverage my skills to drive meaningful progress. Through my role as an intern for our very own Missouri representative, Del Taylor, I gained valuable experience campaigning, attending political meetings, brainstorming legislative, and managing correspondence. Additionally, my involvement in student council provided me with a platform to exercise my leadership and connect with students to execute their ideas. My wide-ranging experience has not only refined my ability to cultivate effective communication and collaboration, but has also provided me with valuable knowledge that I would be honored to bring to the council. In my role as president, vice president, I vowed to advocate for a safer city that ensures the youth feels both protected and supported. With the recent shooting in our own community, it is clear that reform is overdue. I promise to push for the implementation of strategies that directly target gun violence and support families and communities affected by it. Finally, the neglected St. Louis roads pose a threat to all young drivers, requiring immediate attention and thorough repair. By taking action to improve the roads and enacting preventative measures against gun violence, we can prioritize the well-being of our youth and create an environment that nourishes safety, opportunity, and progress. I look forward to connecting and working with each of you. Thank you for your time and consideration.
All right, in that case, Trent, could you remind me what you're running for? Secretary, awesome, okay. I'm gonna read you guys what, who's running for each position, so if you wanna make a little like star on your form so you know who you're voting for. For president, we have, and correct me if I miss anyone, I have Silas, Niall, and Viviette for president. Am I missing anyone? Okay. For vice president, I have Silas, David, Niall, Isabella, Izzy, and Viviette. Am I missing anybody there? Okay. And for secretary, I have Trent, David, and Niall. All right. So you guys can go ahead and vote on your paper ballots. We'll just take a minute or two to let you do that, and then I'm going to tally them up during the following presentation so you don't have to wait for me. True. All right. Now I would like to hand over the mic to Christina Garmendia, who is the policy director in President Green's office. She's going to be leading us through a presentation about how legislation happens at the Board of Aldermen, and I'm going to come by and collect all your ballots.
Thanks, Cecilia. And before I start, I want to give a shout out to Dr. Scarlett, who's attending the second ever City Youth Council meeting. Thank you so much for coming. All right. Hey, Cecilia, how do I, oh, you aren't? No, you're not. Okay. Would you like to? All right, so while you're waiting for the tally, when your attention is perfect, I'm going to give you a 101 on the legislative process. We'll make sure to send you this PowerPoint afterwards, so in case you are distracted, you'll have another chance. But I'm going to just walk you through, again, Cecilia said, I'm Christina Garmendia. I'm the policy director for President Megan Green at the Board of Aldermen. And I'm going to give you kind of a quick run through of what the legislative process looks like here. and with the start of city government and youth. So while, just to give you a refresher, city government currently has a few programs that serve youth. Mostly they're focused on recreation. We have mentoring programs, summer camps. We have summer food programs as well, and youth job support. So if you've ever heard of the Summer Youth Employment Program and the Jobs League, that's where the city provides funding for youth to be employed by local employers. And but our recent history of having youth offices is relatively new. So the mayor's office, Office for Children, Youth, and Families, started in 2019, and Lakeisha here is the senior advisor, is the title, right? So relatively new office. And then the Board of Aldermen had a committee, started a committee on education and youth matters only in 2019. So that's now the, we merged and changed the wards, and we changed the committee. So the new committee that handles youth matters is the committee Health and Human Services, Human Development? Human Services, and this is Alderwoman Pam Boyd, who is the chair of that committee. So, and so while nearly all legislation impact youth, there's been very few that has been explicitly to address priorities established by youth. So this is where you guys come in. All right, next slide. You guys had a few questions from the last survey that we wanted to answer right here at the beginning. So first question that we had was, how will the Youth Council directly influence legislation? It's up to you guys, is the short answer. But this might look like speaking directly to members of the Board of Aldermen about issues that impact youth. It could be developing and delivering written recommendations as a council to the entire board for new legislation that they should be considering. You can be reviewing legislation that the Board of Aldermen is considering and giving your input. So we're going to have a lot of legislation around gun safety, gun violence, and your perspective on whether those pieces of legislation will have an impact would be critical. And you can organize other youth and community members to support or not support legislation that's before the Board of Aldermen. And you can attend and testify at public meetings, just like anyone else. How much impact will we have on our community? Also up to you. This is the first year of the City Youth Council, so there's really no roadmap. But this group can engage the community however you decide. You can invite people to these meetings. You can go door to door, knocking campaign if you want to educate people on an issue. And you can create flyers and other media to give to either Board of Aldermen members or members of the public. So the impact is up to you guys. And then the other question we got, which is, will we get the opportunity to talk with lawmakers outside of the Board of Aldermen? So this is possible. We can certainly invite state legislators, right, to our meetings. And the group can discuss who they might want to speak to and invite them to attend meetings. A quick overview of our committees. I've circled the one that's Education and Youth Matters fall into, Health and Human Development. So starting with that one, the committee works on both health, social services, things related to the environment, parks and recreation, youth and adult education. The other committees are transportation and commerce, so that's around like business development, conventions, tourism, arts and culture, public transit. Housing, urban development, and zoning is about housing and neighborhood development. Then we have public safety, so I'm suspecting this will be a committee that you'll want to deliver recommendations to. That committee works on ways to improve public safety. And public safety includes things like violence, crimes, and natural disasters. And they also deal with anything related to law enforcement. Public infrastructure and utilities. This is basically streets, sidewalks, internet, utilities, trash and recycling. And then budget and public employees works on approving the city budget, which is $1 billion. Okay, B with $1 billion. As well as issuing things like bonds to fund things like city infrastructure, and approves new forms of revenues like taxes. And they also cover anything to do with city workers. So then 3 more, and then we're done with committees. Legislation and rules. This one is a little bit more obscure. It works on reviewing existing laws, things like elections and voter participation. And then we have 2 special committees. So these are committees that we form especially for the session. So they're established through legislation themselves. And so this year we established a special committee on red tape. And this is around permits and licenses for businesses. And then lastly, a special committee on long-term health care, which works on care for seniors. So, and Alderwoman Boyd, you're part of that special committee. You're vice chair of that committee. And what was the other committees you're part of?
Health and Human Services and Budget.
Okay, yes. And so Alderwoman Boyd here is on one of the most important committees, Budget and Health and Human Services, which is going to be really busy this year, right, with the help of you guys. All right, so a little bit about the bill process. And Cecilia, how are you doing back there? Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to go faster. All right. All right, so before a bill is written, so the legislative process, so much happens even before you see a bill being introduced. This before a bill is written section is a lot of what I do. I do a lot of the background research and figuring out what we should even write legislation on. So in drafting a bill, anyone can write a bill. It's not like a exclusive right of a legislator, but anyone can write a bill. That includes people like lobbyists, advocates, community members, and alder people. So anyone can write a bill, and you can present it to an alder person to introduce and carry, to basically be its champion. Before a bill is written, you also do a lot of research, consider how other cities might be addressing a problem, and whether the city has ever done anything similar before. Have they tried this already? How did it go? And then community engagement. So what community groups care about this issue that can come with you to the table when you're advocating for it. And this is a little, I'll speed through this, but when there is a bill introduced, there's many different steps before it gets passed and signed. But in short, it's introduced at the first meeting. The president assigns it to a committee where in committee it has hearings. That's where you get to hear public testimony on feedback on a piece of legislation. If the bill is lucky enough to pass out of committee, so all the committee members agree that it's, not all of them, but the majority, agree that it's a good bill and it makes sense after they've heard from people. If they pass it out, it's second read in front of the entire board. And again, the whole board gets an opportunity to debate that bill. And at this, this is a point where it can be changed entirely on the floor in front of the full board. But when it's third read and finally passed by the entire board, it's considered passed by the Board of Aldermen. It goes to the mayor, who then signs it and it becomes law. Of course, she can decide not to sign it. She can decide also to veto it, in which case it goes back to the full board, and it has to be, normally a bill just has to be passed by a majority. If the mayor vetoes it, then it has to be passed by like 2/3. So a few more alder people have to be totally on board to override a veto. Yes. And have we ever done that before? Can you remember? Yeah?
Yes, we've overridden a veto.
Okay. So, and just a quick note, if it requires money, most policy does require some form of money. It has to go before a group of 3 more people. That's what's called the Board of E&A, Estimate and Apportionment, and that's basically the mayor, the president, and the comptroller. So if there's anything regarding to do with, if it has a budget, it has to pass those 3 leaders. And section of legislation. This will be real quick, and definitely we'll review this again. But legislation includes a summary. So this is what, is reported on in the press. Some bills can be very, very long, like 50 pages long. What's the longest bill you've had? 100. Summary is very important because it's like too long, didn't read. Next, and every piece of legislation comes with a summary. Then another piece of legislation, part of it is the introduction. This is where you're describing what's happening in the bill. Next slide. There's a section called the whereas clauses. So whereas the condition and location of outdoor living spaces used as residences can raise public health or safety concerns. This is where you're saying, why am I doing this bill? What's the data that shows that this is a problem? What's the history? So this is all the background you're giving before you say what that explains, like, why are you proposing this change in policy? And then you always give definitions, because definitions are very important in the law. You have to be very clear about what you're talking about. Your definition of public safety might be different than mine. So that's where it goes. And then the main body of the bill is the policy. So what part of the law are you trying to change, and how are you trying to change it? Are you trying to introduce something new? You don't have to just be editing what's already out there. You can be writing an entirely new section of the law. And then penalties. This is an important part of pretty much every piece of legislation, is what happens if someone doesn't do what this law says? What's the punishment? And usually it's a fine. But there's a number of penalties. There's things that are more technical called severability clauses, and that just means if for any reason some of the part of the bill is struck down in court, that the rest of it still works. And lastly, an emergency clause is just saying, when we pass this bill, it's an emergency and it needs to go into effect immediately. Usually when you're introducing legislation, there needs to be like a transition period, especially if it's like, hey, we're going to be collecting a new fee for a permit or something like that. So that's what that means. So if you look at board bills at all in the next year, you'll be able to diagnose these different pieces and refer to this slide deck when you have questions about, well, why is this section there? What does it mean? And of course, you can ask us too. All right, and the last slide I have before we announce the winners of this vote is, what are the limits? So city government cannot change everything. The Board of Aldermen can't change everything. So this is your primary audience, is the Board of Aldermen. Like, we've formed this group and we're attending every time you guys meet. So we're your primary audience, but we can't change everything that matters. And so some of the legislation that I'm sure you guys will want to do over the course of the year, it might be state law. And in that case, if you try and do something at the city level, state law overrides it. And then also, so for example, when we tried to pass an increase in minimum wage at the city of St. Louis, it got overridden by a state law limiting cities from raising their minimum wage. Messed up. Yep. And the last part about the city government you need to know about is we mostly legislate on the municipal code. There's also something called the city charter. That's like the city's constitution. And any changes to that requires a vote of the people. So if you want to change anything in the city charter, it's not that you can't do it, it just has to go to a vote before all of St. Louis City residents. And they'd have to vote for it to become changed. So that's your 101, and I will cede back the floor to Cecilia to announce, hopefully, the results. There's so many of you.
Okay, thank you, Christina. That was wonderful. That's truly a 101. I'm still learning myself. So miraculously, we had no ties, which I was really expecting, but we do have 3 winners. So once I say your name, we'll give you a round of applause, and then I'm actually... Secretary first. Oh, smart. I like that. So once I say your name, we're going to give you a round of applause, and then you're going to actually come have a seat up here. Sorry, I just took one of your spots. Because now you get to sit up at the front on the dais. Not really. Okay, so we are going to start with Secretary. The winner is Trent Young. Congratulations. You can come up here and have a seat. For Vice President, the winner is Izzy Flesner. Congratulations. And lastly, for President of the City Youth Council, Silas Bloch. Congratulations. All right, great job, everybody. I was really inspired by all of the pitches tonight. I'm really excited to have all of y'all here, whether you're serving in a leadership position or a equally important role on the council. So really excited for next steps. And speaking of next steps, we reserved a little bit of time for the newly elected president to lead a discussion about kind of what you guys want to do in the coming meetings. It could be a discussion about issues, if you want to lead that. It could be a discussion about the format of meetings. Do you want to have a panel of Board of Aldermen members? Do you want to have a different representative come speak that we can try to facilitate? Do you want to talk about whether you want to make recommendations or learn about legislation? So I kind of wanted to leave the floor a little bit open, if that's all right with you, President Bloch. All right, take it away.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for electing me. Just as we start this process and our work, I would want to emphasize, please give me feedback if I'm doing something you don't like or you think I can do better. Please tell me. But I would absolutely love to kind of open it up to all of you. And I know we talked at the first meeting. I wasn't here, but I know we talked at the first meeting about kind of the issues that we think are really important. But I think it would be great to start there. So I think the system we've been doing of whoever wants to share can kind of raise their hand. And I'd love to start there in terms of the issues that we think are really important. We can think about it for a second first. Oh, thank you.
Who was it? Sorry.
Hey everybody, my name is Nevaeh, if you weren't here when I first said it, but one of the main goals I feel like we should try to attack, of course, would definitely be the gun violence in the millennial area, I guess I would say young adults, because it is very important for us to not only follow in older people's footsteps or our parents' footsteps, it's also a thing for us to be leaders for them, because a lot of people don't know the way, and with us still being young, we have a lot of time to get things together and to make it how we would be. So when we got older, it would kind of chill down a lot, because I know a lot of us, especially my kind, lose a lot of friends or family members due to gun violence or just reckless people in general. So I feel like that's one of the main goals we should attack.
All right, so two other ones that I want to do is single parent households, and then what's the other one? The other one is single parent households and not enough recreation, because we don't have enough recreation to the point to where we could have more recreation in order to stay away from the activities that will have us in danger and stuff like that. And then as far as single parent households, we can look at things to prevent that from happening, because some of the times it's not from just relationships just falling. Sometimes it can happen from police or people being in jail, all that type of stuff. So yeah, those two other ones.
Hi, I'm Meg. One issue that's really important to me is 911 calls. Just from personal experience, I've been put on hold by the 911, and I think that that's something that we could change, and I really hope that we can.
I agree with what you said about more recreational activities, because it will, providing more programs for youth and more educational places for St. Louis youth to be able to express themselves and make mistakes without judgment will prevent more of the activities that are causing gun violence or violence in general in our communities.
Something I would like to focus more on is mental health awareness. I feel like there's a lot more we can do in avoiding the bigger cost of it, and a lot more we could put in schools with it. And yeah.
I think a lot of our problems are caused by this, but I think we need to have like a big mindset shift. Like for example, you was talking about single parent households and what was the other thing you said? Recreation. I think that that's true, but at the same time, say we give all these recreation, we give all these things to fix these problems. If the mindsets aren't in the want for change, nothing's gonna change. So I think it is important we do all these things and add all these variables. But I think the main thing we need to focus on is making sure everybody's on board for it. That's it.
Yeah, of course. You can say anything.
I'm sorry to come back again and take someone else's spot, but I would honestly say, due to the fact that I am about to graduate high school, I say that we should try to create a bunch of leadership groups, like mentorships for younger girls, mentorships for younger boys, maybe some younger schools as far as like elementary schools, middle schools. I feel like we should do a lot of things like that, because if we have a lot of younger people that look up towards us and we're not doing the right thing, we're kind of leading them in the wrong way. I would say probably the blind leading the blind. So I feel like we should definitely try to definitely work on being better mentors for the younger people that look up towards us, even if it's just family wise, as far as siblings, aunties, and things like that. So that's another thing.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Also, I want to say, like, also building more of a sense of community, because I think that causes a lot of these problems too. Because I feel like there are a lot of events in St. Louis, but I don't think people oftentimes want to go to these things or participate in these things because they don't feel the sense of community. Because I feel like back in the day, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like y'all. I feel like y'all had more of a sense of community. Like, hey, I'm gonna go to that corner store, yada yada, all that. And I feel like if we tried to bring that back a little bit more, it'll bring more safe and comfort to the environment and community. Yeah, that's it. You wanna go? Yeah.
We're here all night.
Okay, one thing that I think should be widely discussed is what goes on in our schools. An increased amount of bullying that isn't being handled, the things that have been taken out of our curriculum, and something simple as cursive writing. There's people that my age and older that don't even know how to cursive write or sign a simple document, or let alone a resume. So a lot of these things are overlooked, and it's some of the simplest things. So I think that's something that should be touched on a little bit more, because getting out into the real world and you don't know how to do these basic things, you won't make it. So I think that's something that especially people of our age need to come together and start discussing a lot more, because there's so many of us, a lot of people that I know, some family, some friends that don't know that don't know these basic skills. So I think that's something that should be discussed.
I mentioned this earlier, but the condition of our roads and the negligence of the state of our streets right now is really bad. I think this is definitely something we should focus on. That also ties into the whole safety with the, gun violence, bullying, other things that is a threat to the youth. In addition to that, the unsafe roads. They're in a really poor condition right now, so I think we could improve that.
All right, I'm getting up again. So, all right. Already said. All right. Another thing that I want to bring up is social media. Now I know some of y'all gonna be like, "Oh, we need social media and stuff like that," but like y'all don't. Yeah. But some people are not like at the mature level to like accept that some stuff is not real on social media, and sometimes they're gonna take it out and do it and think it's gonna work like it did on social media, but it's not. So I a thing that I'm coming up. A thing that I'm coming up with is like, you know how you get like a driver's license and stuff like that. You do all the 25 questions and stuff like that. I want the same thing for social media. Like you can have questions to make sure your mature level is enough to like handle it, you know, that type of thing. So it's kind of like a, you know, just an idea.
Well, thank you all for sharing. I think those are all amazing suggestions.
Mr. President.
Yes.
I have a request.
Yeah.
Can you guys, I would love to see you guys speak about substance use with teens. Yeah, I would love to see you guys speak, talking here about substance use with teens because I think, well, I know that it's younger and younger now with young kids are starting out with less than 12 years old with their first hit of a blunt. And we all know that that's a gateway drug, and there's more and more youth starting to use opioids and different things like that. So I would love to put that on your agenda as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So if there's nobody else, thank you for adding that to the list. But so if there's nobody else who kind of wants to share anything, I think what would be great is we talked about forming subcommittees. So we can maybe form subcommittees that kind of address kind of the overarching themes, and then we can maybe send out an invitation for anyone who wants to join a specific committee and really start to work on brainstorming and talking about specific ideas and then brainstorming solutions. But if anybody else has any suggestions in terms of kind of organizing ourselves broadly, feel free to share them. But to me, kind of committees addressing specific issues make sense to me.
Great. So that seems like maybe something that you can prepare in advance for the next meeting, and then at that point, you'll appoint committee members to those meetings, to those subcommittees, and figure out what everybody's doing. Great. Okay. Sure. I might not. Maybe you do that one.
They should be able to let's let them try.
Yeah.
Then we'll come back.
Well, I'll give you a brief how committees work at the Board of Aldermen. Members of the board, each board member shared with the president what committees they wanted to be a part of, and then the president chooses who's on those committees, trying to take into account their interests and desires. So that's how we did it this year at the Board of Aldermen. But you guys can brainstorm other ways to do it too. So just want to give you a starting point.
Okay. For the last specific agenda item, I kind of just wanted to open the space up for announcements. So if anybody from either the adult sponsors or anybody on the council or staff or anybody, if you guys know of any events or opportunities that you think your fellow council members might be interested in, now would be the time. I'll start off real quick. One thing that we had been talking about is once the session starts up again in September and the Board of Aldermen is meeting regularly, our plan is to develop a sort of one-pager of the legislation that's being considered at the board every week. So we can send that out to you guys, or maybe every 2 weeks, I don't know, we'll figure it out, regularly. So you guys know exactly what's happening at the board, and you can decide to look at that legislation, make recommendations, whatever you want to do with that. Okay, any announcements? Yes.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lakeisha, and I work for the Office of Violence Prevention. It's an office that was just created last year because, like you were saying, there's so much violence going on in the city, and we have to do something about it. One of the things we want to do is create an OVP kickback team, because we have an event every third Saturday where we go out into different communities in the most, our priority areas, where they have a lot of crime on a regular basis. So we go to those parks, we invite the community out and have a DJ and food and activities, and we bring lots of resources into the park so that the people can sign up for anything they might need at that time. So we're trying to create a team of young people, 24 and under, to like be the mascots for that, to say, violence isn't cool and let's try to do something different. So all these great ideas that you guys have, that's what we're looking for. And right now we have a logo contest for that team so that they'll have something to put on t-shirts and spread the word throughout the community. And if you guys want to enter, you can use the QR code, or I'll ask if maybe we can send a link to you all or something. So it would be great if you would submit a logo for our contest. We'd appreciate it.
Any other announcements? Yeah, go for it.
All right, so there's an opportunity for a lot of the reasons that you said there aren't youth voices and things. How do we make sure that that happens? So we're trying to do actionable things in that. And so there is an opportunity at the moment connected through Office of Violence Prevention, but also through a program called VPC, which is the Violence Prevention Commission. And they actually work to do youth safe spaces, which means essentially they provide funding for different organizations or corporations, or however you want to look at it, neighborhood churches, to do different outreach and create safe spaces for youth. But what's not on that committee right now, well, I won't say that. They are there, but what they're asking for now is they would like a representative from our city youth council to be on that committee to review those grants. This is the first step in the process of saying, is this what we want? Does it include mental health? Is this helping change mindset? You can input that voice there, and then there's not these events that you don't want to be a part of being thrown. It's more targeted to what you exactly want to see in your community. So that opportunity is out there. I will talk with your president after this. We will figure out a way, because it will just be one representative from this council that will be able to be on there. But I think it's a powerful position to be in, and really controls the first step of trying to get some things done for you guys.
I say this is your meeting. So I would really love to see you guys have fun with this meeting, but make it purposeful. And if anything is being discussed or offered that you don't agree with, or you say, you have more questions about, please use your voice. This is your meeting, and the issues that you guys brought up today, I think are very valid, and it's something that's heavy on your heart, obviously, and impacts you and your family and your friends. So honing in on this and being able to get together, come up with that list, and then create those committees out of that before you dive off into anything else is truly important, because I think sitting on this committee, I know it's a ton of committees and commissions out here. I can't even name them all. But right now, I think your focus is here. So please use your voice if you want to be a part of something else. Or if you don't, it's okay, because this is your safe space.
All right, so an announcement from our office. There's going to be community engagement soon around the Rams settlement. Have you guys heard about the Rams settlement funds at all? You got a couple in the back? It's where the city won a lawsuit, and the county, they won a lawsuit against the former St. Louis Rams for getting up and moving, and they won their share of $250 million. So very soon, in the next month, we will be launching a community engagement process to hear from residents about what we should do with that money. And we're going to be sending you guys the link to make sure you fill out the survey, but also we would love for you to get the word out to youth in general to make sure they participate. It is designed to be quick and easy, but it's going to be a year-long community engagement process, so it won't be like do it this one time and that's the only time you'll get a chance. It's going to be happening year-round, and so I just want to preview that for you guys, so it's coming soon.
Hello, everyone. I don't know if any of you all will be able to make it, but it's a good opportunity to maybe ask your parents if this Wednesday, the 14th, if any of them, if you live in the 14th ward, So that will be going over almost by O'Fallon Park, anywhere over here through downtown, Old North St. Louis, Carr Square Village, any of those communities. They're having a town hall meeting. Alderman Rasheen Aldridge, which covers the 14th Ward, the President Megan Green, she will be there, the police chief, fire chief. I think this will be a good time because this is one of the topics that's being discussed is or planned to be discussed is, things that's going on in the neighborhood. To definitely get the youth's view, us older people who've, made decisions and put our input in it. It sounds great coming from us, but if you guys can be able to come out and actually talk with these local leaders and let them know personally how you guys feel or what you guys think should be implemented, I think that would be a great idea. Also, if any of the neighborhoods, I don't know if any of you all ever heard of SLDC, St. Louis Development Corporation, but they also have a plan called Our Plan, and it covers the 6 neighborhoods surrounding the NGA. So if you guys are in Hyde Park, St. Louis Place, Old North St. Louis, JVL, I'm missing a couple. Also, that would be great to have you guys get involved with them because it's a portion in there where I'm going to be honest, I'm on the council with them, and we're kind of stuck being older people and not knowing exactly what the youth is thinking. So we're trying to come up with something or figure out what we can do as far as, like she said, the roads, the safety issues with the roads and people going through stop signs, children being injured and things like that. So it would be great to also hear you guys' voice with SLDC. That would be great. Yep, Wednesday, it's at the Firehouse on North Jefferson, 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Anybody else? I'm getting my steps in.
So August 19th at 10 o'clock, me and some other local gun violence advocates are meeting at Pilgrim Congressional Church, and it's our first meeting, and we're going to be talking just about like gun violence prevention and ways we can get involved in the community. So if any of you are interested in that, feel free to show up. But yeah. It's at Pilgrim Congressional Church, UCC, and it's on the 19th at 10 o'clock a.m.
Thank you. And we'll send all of these announcements out in an email with links and information also. All right. Okay, well, I think we're finishing almost right on time. Oh, a little bit early. Okay, we got 15 minutes early. If nobody else has any questions, I think we will go ahead and close. If you guys can leave your name tents with us, and we'll keep them and bring them to the next meeting. We don't know yet. We'll have to determine that as our group, but yeah.
That's what you guys are gonna do now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Decide when and where the next meeting is. Do we have an offer of a location for the September meeting?
Annie Malone. I'll host it at Annie Malone.
Okay, wonderful.
Annie Malone's gonna host the next meeting. Where is it?
2612 Annie Malone Drive, right next to Sumner High School.
Cool.
Great.
Great.
So we'll send out all that information.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get that sorted.
And grab some pizza.